from the uncovering of Leroy Benjamin's body in a drainage ditch off Harlow Boulevard to the discovery of the skeletal remains of Corbin Johnson in northwest Jacksonville. In this video, I'm walking y'all through a list of every op that Foolio brutally killed. And first on the list we have Youngie's brother Trayvon Bullard. Who better to start this list with than Foolio's greatest op, Youngie Ace? Unfortunately, in this tale of Foolio's brutality, it wasn't Youngie Ace that got killed, it was his younger brother that suffered the consequences. However, Youngie didn't leave unscathed. He got shot 8 times in the attack. How did this go down? The night of June 5th, 2018 started as a celebration. Youngin' Ace was out with his brother Trayvon Bullard and 2 close friends, Royale, Devon Smith Jr., and Jacob Groover. They were out celebrating Trayvon's 18th birthday, a milestone that should have been filled with joy and laughter. As the night drew to a close, they decided to head home. The atmosphere was relaxed, and their guard was down as they talked about the good time they had just had. Little did they know their lives were about to be shattered in the most brutal way imaginable. When the group pulled up to a red light, suddenly out of nowhere, another car pulled up beside them and opened fire, unleashing a hail of bullets on Ace and his friends. The scene was chaotic, and horrifying bullets flew through the air, shattering the windows and tearing through the car. Ace was hit 8 times. He was shot once in the hand, once in the arm, and 6 times in his buttocks. Despite the excruciating pain, Ace tried to protect his brother and friends, but the attackers were relentless.
I ain't gonna lie, I tried to like shield my little brother, 23. It was his birthday. So I tried to shield him and make sure he was good.
Trayvon, Royale, and Job were all hit multiple times. Trayvon was shot 3 times, Royale was shot once, and Job was shot multiple times as well. When the gunfire finally stopped, the aftermath was devastating. Trayvon and Royale were pronounced dead at the scene. Jacob was rushed to the hospital, but succumbed to his injury shortly after. Ace miraculously survived the attack, but in critical condition, fighting for his life. By now, y'all are probably wondering how Foolio has anything to do with this murder. Well, I'm going to give you a backstory. Foolio had a cousin, Zion Brown, who was murdered in his home in 2017 by Deontre Thomas. With a little bit of research, it was clear that Deontre Thomas and Youngin' Ace were close friends and in the same gang, ATK, so it's very possible. Corbin's friends Jerica Sims and another companion chatted with him via FaceTime. He mentioned he was waiting for a ride after his interview and asked if they could get him something to eat, according to the missing person report. Corbin's father, Corey Mormon, dropped him off at 5 o'clock. For another job interview with UPS 45 minutes later, Corey picked him up and brought him to his mother's house on Biscayne Bay Circle. Melissa Mormon, Jack Corbin's mother, saw him for the last time at 9:30 p.m. That night, his dad explained to cops that he sent him a text message the next morning around 8:45 a.m. But I never got a response. That was unusual for him. When Corbin failed to respond to his father's text, concern began to grow by 6:30 p.m. On July 13th, Corbin's family officially reported him missing. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office launched an investigation, but despite their efforts, no leads emerged for an entire year. Corbin's trail went cold. The community rallied together, organizing search parties and spreading awareness. But there were no clues, no signs, and no answers. The pain of not knowing what happened to Corbin weighed heavily on his family and friends. Then, on the evening of July 11, 2019, exactly 1 year after Corbin's disappearance, a man clearing land on the city's northwest side made a gruesome discovery using his tractor. He unearthed skeletal remains wrapped in plastic-style bag. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office later identified the remains as those of Corbin Johnson. Y'all are probably in shock at the details of this gruesome murder. But over the years, Julio has dissed the boy in more than 5 songs. We're talking list of dead ops, Dead Op, PT2 and CCGG. To mention a few in list of dead ops, PT2 Foolio rap, Corbin got kidnapped. They found his bones, he was rot. And to add to that, he made this tweet. I used Corbin thigh bone at Top Golf is a golf club, the whole one further disrespecting his death. Stuff like this makes people wonder if Foolio had something to do with Corbin's mysterious kidnapping and murder. Prosper Nathan Johnson, Smoking Prosper and Tay died on the same day. That's a lyric from Foolio's song, List of Dead Ops. PT2, While it's not uncommon for them to talk fake or lie in their songs, this particular lyric is just too bold to ignore, almost like a clear admission to the crime, stirring up rumors that he killed them or had some of his gang members and Katie do the job. How was Prosper killed? The shooting took place in the 7300 block of Linda Drive, just northwest of Lim Turner and Interstate 95. It was Sunday evening around 9:00 p.m. on Linda Drive, when 3 men were ambushed and riddled with bullets, leaving the 3 men dead and 2 women injured. The victims of this horrific incident were 17-year-old Prosper Natron Johnson, 26-year-old Bobby Norris, 3, and 20-year-old Dhi. One woman who was a witness said she saw bodies lying on the street and compared the shootout to a war zone. The parking lot of the nearby apartment complex quickly filled with concerned residents and onlookers, all desperate to find out if their loved ones were among the victims. The scene was chaotic, with people frantically searching for answers when the police, medical assistants arrived. Prosper and Ron Johnson, Bobby Norris, 3, and Dhi were all pronounced dead at the scene. The 2 women caught in the crossfire were taken to UF Health Jacksonville. Initially, it was believed that both women were shot, but later it was determined that only one was wounded by gunfire, while the other was injured in the ensuing chaos. It was also very difficult for the officers to do their jobs. Investigation was slow, as residents were reluctant to speak due to fear for their safety. Police found a bullet hole in one car and 2 flat tires on another, likely caused during the shooting. However, the police gave no notice, and no arrests were reported. The neighborhood had seen its share of violence. The December before the shooting, 53-year-old Ahmad Miles Franklin was shot and killed while waiting for a child to return home. In July 2009, 23-year-old Kelly Richard Hill was found dead in his car with a bullet hole in the window. These incidents have left residents feeling unsafe and desperate for change. Big Baby Devon Crowden was a 16-year-old student at Rains High School in Jacksonville, Florida. He was actively involved in the Grand Park Athletic Association, where he played football. Devon's mother had just dropped him off at the bus stop so he could catch the bus to school. It was a routine morning just like any other. But a short time later, everything changed at approximately 6:30 a.m. December 10, 2014, officers responded to a report of gunfire on 13th Street near Canal Street. Neighbors reported hearing as many as 15 shots. When the officers arrived, they found Devon's body lying in the road, riddled with multiple gunshot wounds. The scene was marked by more than a dozen shell casing markers, a grim indication of the violence that had occurred. He was standing at the bus stop waiting to go to school, not sell drugs, go to school. And he got shot and killed. That's a problem, said neighbor Daryl Alustin, who knew Crowe. How was Theo connected to this incident before he was killed? Foolio, in a series of interviews, explained the time he got shot at 15. The story goes that he had a fight in his school, and because of the fight, he was expelled and had to transfer to another school in Jacksonville. This school, however, happened to be in his ops neighborhood.